Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing you another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Shriek action figure. Shriek is from Batman Beyond. He first appeared in the 7th episode of the first season. Shriek here is a Target exclusive. He's the second figure in the collective build Batman Joker Robot from Future's End. There is going to be another version of Shriek upcoming that isn't a Target exclusive. That one's going to be unmasked. His real identity is Walter Shriek. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, got the Spawn logo there, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Shriek, collective build Batman from Future's End, the second of 4 action figures. Here he is in the package. We've got Joker Robot's 2 arms, he has a collector's card, a display stand, and then he has these sort of sound vibrations, nice little action feature accessory. One side of the package, Shriek from Batman Beyond. Other side, Shriek. At the bottom, there's a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode in case that helps anybody. On the back side, here's Shriek, Robot Joker, and Batman Beyond. Then we have instructions on the Build-A-Figure. And here's some more McFarlane DC Multiverse figures you should check out. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And here's the Shriek figure next to the Terry McGinnis Batman Beyond figure. These are the 2 figures of the wave so far. Can't wait to add Batwoman Beyond and Blight to the mix. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. He does come with a display stand, a collector's card, 2 arms for the Batman Joker Robot from Future's End, and then he has this action effect, sort of some sound vibrations. Pretty appropriate accessory for Shriek. But before we take a look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Shriek. He has the ability to sort of turn sound waves into vibrations. He can use that to destroy buildings, concrete, anything he wants. He has this sort of giant armored suit. He's got these very large hands. They're almost claw-like. You can see he's got these transparent sort of balls here. A lot of the sound would come out of there. Hands are huge. They're on kind of a ball joint. Can rotate around, go in and out. Wish he could go back a little further. I'd like him to be able to hold his hand up and use the sonic waves. His face looks pretty cool. Very unique design. Always stuck with me from Shriek. He's got those blue balls all over him. No pun intended. Looks like double ball joints in his torso. Double jointed elbows. Double jointed knees. Overall, very pleased to add another Bat villain to the mix. This is the first time they've made a Shriek figure in plastic form yet. 5, 6, or 7-inch scale. His face always kind of reminded me of the Hard Hat computer from Batman the Animated Series. Now let's look at his accessories, and let's start with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle, says DC at the bottom, 1 peg for the peg holes on his feet. Very thin, very basic. Here's his collector's card. You can see 3 of the Batman Beyond figures. We've got a Shriek, Terry McGinnis, and the Joker Batman Robot. Shriek from Batman Beyond. On the back side here, we have a little description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Then we've got these Batman Joker Robot arms. His right arm here has a very large cannon on the end. It looks very cool. Looks like single jointed elbow. A little bit different design. Looks pretty cool. And then his left hand here, you can see the Batman gauntlet. Looks excellent. Claw-like hands. Double jointed elbows. A lot of detailing on this thing. Now let's take the Joker Batman Robot torso that came with the Terry McGinnis Batman Beyond figure. Let's attach these arms. Been a long time coming. Still halfway to go though. Here's the Joker Batman Robot fully assembled. At least with what we can do so far. You can have it displayed either as Joker or as Batman. Now let's look at his sound vibration blast effect. This thing looks pretty cool. Blue, sort of semi-transparent. It's got 5 holes for his fingers here. I think it's a very nice accessory for Shriek. Here's Shriek holding and using the sound vibration effect. Shriek uses his ability on this palette of cinder blocks. Ends up destroying them with complete ease. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's sitting at about 7.3 inches tall, which could translate to about 18.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Start with his head here. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. It can look up and down about that far. It can tilt from one side to the other, give him a nice amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint. Shoulder pads do a really good job of not obstructing it. They slide over the top pretty nicely. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He does have that signature McFarlane butterfly joint between the shoulder and chest area. Just increase that range of motion a little bit. He's got a bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. His wrist here, done a little bit differently. It can rotate around. It's on a ball joint, can also go forward and back. So if you want to looking back, you can rotate it, hold it up. Not too bad there. Big old claw-like things, no articulation there. Double ball joint in here. His torso, rotate around, go forward and back. His waist rotates around, goes forward and back, giving him a very good range of motion in his torso. Legs go about this far. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation, not too bad. Go forward about that far. Back, not too much. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankle here goes forward and back, can rotate, can tilt and rock, and he's got toe articulation. Here's Shriek being contracted to level this building. And then, of course, Terry McGinnis comes to intervene, ends up engaging Shriek in combat, and of course, Batman wins as usual. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to both versions of the Batman Beyond figure. It looks like they're going to be releasing 2 versions of each figures in this build of Jokerbot wave. We've got both versions of Batman Beyond. Then we have Shriek and an unmasked Shriek. Next we're going to get Batwoman Beyond, and the rumor is there's going to be a blue variation as well. Then we have Blight, and I can only pray that we're going to get one Blight in his armored suit and one in his business suit, but I don't realistically expect that. Now Shriek is the only Batman Beyond villain we've gotten so far, but he's still a Batman villain. Here he is, next to a bunch of other McFarlane DC Multiverse Bat Rogues. And here's my entire McFarlane DC Multiverse collection, including all the different variants. I've got a total of 86 figures and 2 vehicles. I'm still trying to track down the McFarlane Justice League Batman, all 3 variations, and then the Justice League Red and Blue Superman. Beyond that, I'm totally caught up. Now let's check him out, next to some other Batman Beyond figures. Here he is, with an old custom Shriek I have from a long time ago. This one is based off a Marvel Legends body. He's more of a 6-inch scale. Looks like he's getting replaced with this McFarlane version. And here he is, next to a Spellbinder custom. Then, next to a Batman Beyond Kirari custom. And here he is, next to some Batman Beyond Return of the Joker's gang members. We've got Dee Dee and Dee Dee, Ghoul, then Chucko, Bonk, and Wolf. Here he is, next to all my different Batman Beyond figures. They're from Mattel, McFarlane, Mezco, and DC Direct. Here he is, next to a custom Terry McGinnis and Max Gibson. Then, next to a DC Direct, Old Man Bruce Wayne and Ace. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. Here he is, next to some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some McFarlane video game figures. And now, next to some older Jakks Pacific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, next to some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, next to some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, this is a pretty cool figure. His sculpt is pretty nice, big bulky armored suit. His articulation's okay. I would have liked a little more on his wrist. I'd like his hands to be able to go back more so you could shoot his energy. His accessory is pretty cool. I like that sound effect. It's pretty cool they're making Batman Beyond characters. They're sprinkling different corners of the DC universe into their multiverse line. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Definitely enjoying this figure. Definitely looking forward to this masked version more than the unmasked version, but I'm looking forward to having them both. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.